He is Managing Director of TRL Korosaki Refractories, which used to be a Tata company. Now it is a Japanese company. But they're doing some wonderful work as far as skill development is concerned. And Dr. Chattopadhyay is also chairman of the STCA subcommittee of CII. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Very good morning to all of you. Mr. Mohan, Secretary, Department of Technical Education, Mr. Biresh Oberoi, Mr. Shandeep Fuller, and all the delegates who have come today. First of all, I am very privileged to be with you this morning to share my thoughts about the whole subject. I think from the morning, Honorable Minister and others have already opened up the whole thing that how Indian industry should now part the role of a stakeholder in the skill ecosystem. And now that we are already on the subject for more than 1 hour, I don't think we need to talk too much that what is the need for this. I would rather like to share my thoughts with, in my opinion, what should be the process and methodology. And also, as Mr. Biresh Oberoi was talking, we had a unique experience of starting, though we are an industry, but 3 years back, we started a unique experience of developing a rural self-employment training institute and how that is shaping up and what's the model we have followed so that any one of you, not to reinvent the wheel, many of you who are from the industry can straight away take up that model and we are ready to help them. It is impossible for us to accommodate all who are in the agriculture, because we know that basically we are an agricultural nation and everybody believes that okay. But if you look at the demography, if you look at the profile, that every one of us cannot be accommodated. Even if we look at the villages where father had some piece of land, but then his 3 sons, all of them cannot be accommodated in the agriculture. So that there has to be people coming in the industry. And there the requirement also come that somebody was speaking in the morning, that we are, on one hand we are finding that there is a requirement, on the other hand that not enough employable people because the skills are not there. And we all know about these figures that between 18 to 35 years, India has got a huge population, and whereas the average working class will be 37 in the age group in China, 45 in the Western countries, and in comparison to that in India, the statistics tell that it is 28 years of age, and by 2020 we have to have almost 150 million people who require to be developed skill. So I was just trying to talk that some of the areas where government have already taken, like building and construction industries, infrastructure, real estate, gems, jewelry, many areas there government has also taken initiative, as Mr. Mohan was also mentioned. But in certain other areas, I think the skill gap is still remaining, and then there probably it is a requirement that industry should step in, obviously, of course, with the government, and the industry can take this.
Further, I would like to recount a small incident which occurred with me about nearly 10 to 12 years back. I was in Korea and there was a design review going on there. I was a part of the design review team. We were purchasing trains for the Delhi Metro. One of the engineers there asked me a question. The question was very simple. He says that in India, nearly everybody speaks very good English. English is the language in which you have nearly all the technical literature in the world available. Tell me, why is India backward? It was a question to which, at that point of time, I had no answer. But it kept going through my mind that this is something which definitely needs to be answered, because we are a very populous country, one of the most populous countries in the world, and the population has two facets to it. The facet which we all need to develop is the asset aspect of it. The population can be a huge asset, and a population with adequate knowledge of English is a huge asset which we all need to work on and somehow put together in a manner that we become an economic superpower. What's the requirement if we look at the requirement for this? Obviously, you need to develop your skills. You need to develop capabilities so that your people can be considered to be one of the best in the world. You need to develop employability, because employability ensures that the skills go into a continuous development mode and further improvements are there, further upgradations are there for the people. But while we are talking here of skill management, skill upgradation, how to impart skill to more and more people, we also need to think about where we should be orienting this impartment of skills to the people.
As you are all aware, in today's global economy, skills and knowledges are the driving forces of economic growth and social development of any country. Countries with higher and better level skills adjust more effectively to the challenges and opportunities of the world of work. It's also acknowledged fact that the world population is also aging fast. By 2040, the global population aged 65 and above is expected to be about 1.3 billion, more than double of 530 million today sometime in 2010. This trend is expected to result in severe labor shortages across the world. India, home to the second largest population in the world, has the distinct advantage of having one of the youngest populations globally. The famous consultant has predicted that India would become the third largest economy in the world by 2035, just behind the US and People's Republic of China. Globally, companies have their eyes set on India as a rapidly growing nation that is full of opportunities. The sheer scale of development and consequent domestic demand generated could drive growth for many years. The labor market in India is undergoing a dynamic change. It is expected that over the next 15 years, 365 million people will be eligible to join the workforce. The skill training system has become a necessity when the conventional and technical and vocational education and training system has failed to meet the tremendous demand of the industry for skilled.
The ITIs that we'll be offering them. In addition to this, NSDC partners are also going to be, we've also asked NSDC again to help us in running the community colleges that are coming up. 13 of them have been sanctioned for West Bengal, 7 of them are polytechnics and 6 are general degree colleges. So that's another area where you could possibly intervene, and over and above that, we have the non-formal sector where you could possibly become a part of the conventional MES that's already there in place. The state government is also launching specific interventions in border areas and areas which are comparatively more backward. And there again, you could get empaneled with the state government and become a training partner there. You could train people on our behalf. But the bottom line in all these interventions is necessarily employability. So you got to train people appropriately and of a suitable level so that, as Sandeep was mentioning, possibly multi-skill them to ensure that they are able to be gainfully employed by the industry. So we will be having payments would be normally linked with placements. That's going to be the only catch, if I can see. Otherwise, the deliverables are clear, and we would be starting them.